so glad to have you all here.
I'm not really allowed to share anything, so I'm going to hand it over to the great Matt Reeves, who's somewhere around here.
Your heart starts pumping, interacting with the passionate fan base.
Ready? Okay, let's go.
The Batmobile is no joke.
You are so good looking.
It's a completely different experience.
I'm dropping the mic.
DC Fandom. Explore the multiverse. Free for everyone 24 hours only. All fans welcome. September 12th only at DCFandom.com.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new DC Fandom Part 2 trailer video. That's right, there is a Part 2. There's going to be a second night with a bunch more footage and trailers that they'll drop. There's also some new Batman, some new Justice League Snyder Cut footage in there we'll break down. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. Of course, I'll do trailer videos for all the new stuff that they release. It's happening September 12th, so it's not that far off. We'll do a new Amazon giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know what your favorite trailer from the last DC Fandom was. But because I've been getting so many messages about Robert Pattinson for the past day or so, I'll just address that first before I talk about DC Fandom stuff. Everybody wants to know what's happening with the Batman movie. So they started filming the Batman movie again just a little while ago, just very briefly, and had to shut down right away because one of the key cast members got the virus. Warner Brothers was pretty open about it, but they didn't reveal all the details. They just said that one of the cast members got it and they had to shut down production temporarily. Right after that happened, though, a bunch of insiders in the Hollywood trades like Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety were all reporting that, yeah, that cast member, that was Robert Pattinson that got the virus. So naturally everyone started freaking out the way you would expect, but I'm sure he'll probably be fine in a couple weeks. Yes, it is very serious, you need to be careful about that, but he is the star of a billion-dollar franchise. They're going to give him the world's best treatment possible for the next couple of weeks. Here's the thing though, they didn't actually stop filming the movie though. They're still making the movie right now. What the trades are reporting is that they're just filming everything that they can where they don't need Robert Pattinson himself to be on screen. So things that they can use his body double for, the really big action scenes, the fight scenes, all the stunt work, him driving around in the Batmobile, then filming scenes with the other actors like the villains like Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler. So there's still a lot of stuff that they can do without the need for Robert Pattinson for the next couple of weeks. So they're just moving a lot of scenes around right now in production while Robert Pattinson climbs out of that metaphorical torture pit. Really good example of something similar happening is actually with The Rock and his family. Black Adam in the DC universe, he actually said that his entire family got the virus, and he actually looked pretty solid when he was talking about it. But he is The Rock, he's just that hardcore, so obviously it's going to be a little bit worse for regular people. But either way, do not worry, they have a plan. This is a billion-dollar franchise. Of course they have contingencies and ways of working around stuff like this. Number 4 though, during the next DC Fandom event, talking about the actual event, there'll be more movie stuff going on, but the difference is the last time they just had that one channel on the website that they ran like a virtual Comic-Con Hall H presentation with them doing movie panels one at a time. The big thing with this second event on September 12th is that there'll be way more panels and trailers, and most of them will be video on demand, meaning depending on which section of the website you go to, and there will be multiple sections, you can just watch whatever you want without having to wait. But talking about some of that new Justice League Snyder Cut footage, you get a much better look at some of the key scenes that will be different from the theatrical cut. They start with them with that scene filming the Justice League vs. Superman fight right after he's been resurrected. His resurrection in the Snyder Cut will also be totally different from the version in the theatrical cut. So it's not just the color grading that looks different or the lighting, which is obviously very noticeable. In the Snyder Cut trailer that they released a couple weeks ago, you can see that this is meant to happen at night, and it goes on for much longer than the version in the fight in the theatrical cut. The way Zack Snyder explains it is that when he was still on the movie before he had to leave, Warner Brothers also told him that the mandate was he had to cut the film down to under 2 hours, or right at 2 hours, and he actually thought that they were joking because the Snyder Cut itself is going to be over 4 hours long. That's why pretty much all the scenes will be longer, but there'll also be a lot of subplots and storylines that were just taken out wholesale. This is just another version of that scene from them on the back of Batman's jet on their way to fight Steppenwolf. This is another new scene of Superman after he's gone back to the Kent farm looking out one of the windows, so it sounds like there's going to be way more scenes of Superman with Lois Lane. There's just a whole lot more Superman in the Snyder Cut in general. They almost completely cut him out of the theatrical cut because they deemed his story too dark. And a lot of the other scenes with him were part of other subplots that got cut, so tangentially, he also got cut out of those parts of the movie, so you wind up with very little Superman. They really just wanted to skip to the end where he came back and joined the Justice League. We've all seen some of the Superman black suit footage, and in the Snyder Cut trailer from a few weeks ago, there's also a new scene of him in the black suit fighting Steppenwolf and wearing it in the lineup scene at the end before they board Batman's jet to go back. There was that fascinating story that Zack Snyder explained about the funny way that they accomplished the black suit in the movie. Because if you watch the trailer footage at the beginning of this, of them actually filming this scene of the jet rising up and them getting ready to go back, you notice that Henry Cavill is wearing the classic suit. So the way Zack Snyder said that they fixed that and created the black suit was effectively photoshopping the blue suit black in post-production. Now they didn't actually use Photoshop, they used much more complex software. I'm just using that as shorthand. But Zack Snyder wanted to have a way to make it black really quick before they released the movie if he would have been able to convince the studio to say yes to it. Now obviously he can do whatever he wants to with it, which is why it's black during the trailer, because it's going to be the way it is during the actual movie. Number 3, most of the new Aquaman scenes here are when we see Batman first meeting him in the movie. There's actually a bunch of that in this trailer. This is from the Steppenwolf fight at the end of the movie. This is Wonder Woman's scene from the Superman fight with her getting ready to get headbutted by him. This scene you'll also recognize from that recent trailer that Zack Snyder dropped a couple months ago of Wonder Woman learning about Darkseid in the Greek temple, looking at all the different paintings of the Darkseid War from thousands of years ago. The actual painting behind Zack Snyder looks like it just depicts the Amazons, the Atlanteans, and the humans all arriving at the battlefield. This is just more of that scene of them deciding what to do with the Mother Box. This is them filming the scene with Superman arriving at the Batcave to meet Alfred before joining the Justice League at the end of the movie. And then this is more of the Steppenwolf scene arriving via Boom 2 to take the Amazon's Mother Box. Most of that was all in that trailer. This last scene of him turning on the bat signal seems like it's the one from the end of the movie when Gordon turns it on in that big montage of all the different characters. But just to be clear, the ending of the Snyder Cut will be very, very different from the ending of the theatrical cut, so all that might wind up changing. I've already done a couple videos about the supposed Green Lantern post-credit scenes that Zack Snyder had intended to do that we might see during the Snyder Cut, but he hasn't really given any of that away yet. He hasn't given any big spoilers about Green Lantern. Number 2 though, more Wonder Woman 1984. Obviously that's DC's next big movie. It's still scheduled to come out October 2nd, and that's under a month. As far as they've said, that date isn't going to change, even though a lot of theaters are barely reopening in some of the major cities. They dropped what they were calling the final Wonder Woman 1984 trailer with Cheetah a couple weeks ago at that last big DC fandom event. There will be more footage though, that's just the way it works. Of course I'll do more trailer videos when they release new stuff. In number 1, right now there's not a ton more Batman footage for them to show off. There might be a couple other things for the characters like Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler. Originally, Matt Reeves was actually going to drop a trailer for it in December at Brazil Comic-Con. That might still wind up happening, even though the actual convention itself might wind up being canceled if it hasn't already. They might just wind up dropping more footage in December. Also, a really big reminder about the Batman Long Halloween movie that they're releasing next year. It's actually going to be 2 parts, so it'll be much bigger and much more accurate to the comic book Long Halloween story. The first part is supposed to come out in the summer, and part 2 is supposed to come around the same time that the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson is being released. So there will be a lot of Batman-related stuff happening next year if you're a huge Batman fan. Of course, I'll do videos for all the DC Fandom trailers that they release in a couple weeks. As long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see those when I post them. Everyone click here for my Batman trailer video with all the Court of Owls Easter eggs, and click here for The Boys Season 2 Episode 1 video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.